First of all, welcome to our family informational night. If you do have any questions, feel free to put it in the Q&A. For those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Shin Park. I'm the principal at Buena Park Middle School, and I'll let my assistant principals introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Mr. Arredondo, the assistant principal.
Hi, Ms. Rojas, also assistant principal.
So we're going to go ahead and begin with the presentation. If you do have any questions in the meantime, feel free to type it in the Q&A, and I will try to respond to as many of them as possible while Mr. Arredondo and Ms. Rojas begins the presentation.
Thank you, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and begin the presentation. So Mr. Park introduced himself. He's the principal here. Ms. Arredondo also went in and introduced himself as assistant principal, Ms. Rojas, and then we have Mr. Beckelheimer as well, who is our program specialist here at Buena Park. We're going to start off today with just some information for you as parent. We have two bell schedules this school year, one for 7th and 8th grade, which looks a little bit different from the 6th grade bell schedule. And so we have it posted here. You would have gotten a copy of the bell schedule as well during orientation. So if you came to that orientation, you have a copy. If you were not able to make it, we are going to have a makeup day for orientation, which you can come to. This here is a 6th grade bell schedule as well. You're going to notice the start time and end time of the school day is the same for 7th, 8th, and 6th grade. It is only the lunchtime that changes between the three periods.
So this is the Buena Park Middle School compact. So what a compact is, it's an agreement between the staff, the students, and the parents. And this agreement is very important because we want all of our students and all of our scholars to succeed academically. And for them to be able to do that, they have to meet all the school rules and all the expectations that they need to follow throughout the day and throughout the school year.
So as part of this presentation, we're sharing with you the student section of the compact and the parent. Here we have the student section, and as part of the education for every student, it's very important that we set goals and expectations for students so that they can be successful and so that they have the ability to carry out those expectations and responsibilities to the best of their ability. And so as part of the compact, we have on here that students will attend school every day, be on time to school every day in the morning at 8:20 at the latest, so that they have enough time to get to class and be in their class ready to go when the bell rings at 8:30. So they really need to be on campus by that time. They can always come in earlier for breakfast. Our gates open at 8 a.m. They can come in, eat breakfast before school, and be ready to go by 8:20 to start walking to their class. They need to be on time to all classes before the tardy bell rings, ready to learn and work. They need to complete daily agenda for every class and bring home nightly for family member to check. Agendas will be used on a regular basis on campus as bathroom passes, and lost agendas will have to be replaced for a $5 cost as well. So it's very important that they have it here every single day. Students also are agreeing to do their homework every day, return completed homework on time, and not plagiarize. Students are agreeing to be responsible for proper behavior, follow school rules, expectations, and use proper language and respect towards all. They are agreeing to give family members all notices and information received from the school. So anything that goes home should be coming to a family member to review. They agree to follow the Buena Park Middle School Code of Conduct, the student handbook, and the dress code, which we will review as part of this presentation today. They will strive to achieve their personal best, both academically and socially at all times. That includes before school, during school, after school. They will attain a 2.0 GPA and pass all classes with a C or better in order to meet the promotion requirements to go to high school, all of which we will continue to review as part of this presentation.
This is the family member section of the compact. So family participation, it's very important and critical. That way all of our students are able to succeed academically and not only just promote from Buena Park Middle School, but that way we have our scholars ready and prepared academically when they go to high school. So they have an opportunity to graduate and be successful when they go to their universities of choice. So as parents, we need to be proactive and review student agendas on a daily basis. And for the agendas, it's going to be important because sometimes the teachers, they not only write the homeworks or the assignments or tests or quizzes that are coming up for the students, but sometimes they use it as a communication between the home and the school. Encourage each student to work to their best of their ability on a daily basis. And if they're not understanding something, it's important for each student to communicate and to look for that help and that resources with the teachers. Encourage each child to complete all homework on a regular and on a daily basis. Students will be getting homework depending on which classes. But they will be getting homework every day pretty much. So make sure that when the student arrives at home, that a quiet place is provided for them. That way they're able to not just complete their homework, but study for the following days. Can you go to the next slide? Please limit the amount of multimedia or social media that each student engages in on a daily basis. Make sure your student gets adequate sleep and has a healthy diet. Support the school and the district in academic discipline, homework, and attendance policies by monitoring grades and attendance on a regular basis. So if you see that your child has a low grade, sometimes it might be helpful to send the teacher a quick email so they could give you an update on how your student is doing academically, if they're missing homework, or maybe they're getting low test or quiz scores, that we're able to provide some support for the student. Encourage your student to achieve personal best each and every day. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and talk about dress code. Dress code will be enforced the first day of school. And this is so we start preparing our scholars for pretty much for when they go to high school and when they go to college. So our goal is to get all of our students college and career oriented. Hats will not be allowed at Buena Park Middle School. Only Buena Park Middle School logo beanies or caps will be allowed on campus. They may not be worn indoors or during PE class. Exceptions will be made, but only with a doctor's note. Hoodies and hoods will not be allowed for students to wear through the school. So if we see students that are wearing hoods or hoodies, they are going to be asked to take the hoods or hoodies off. Shirts must have sleeves. Bare shoulders will not be permitted. No tube or sheer tops will be allowed. No midriff must be exposed. So no oversized colored shirts will be allowed, and no jerseys are allowed or clothing with sport logos. For pants, no oversized pants will be allowed as well. Must be proper fit, and they must fit at the waist without a belt. Underwear must not be shown, and no sagging pants will be allowed. So no sleepwear will be allowed as well. Tights are not allowed to be worn alone. Must not be ripped or torn, exposing undergarment or skin above the knee. For skirts, shorts, or socks, shorts and skirts must be past the fingertips in length, even with leggings underneath. Shorts cannot be past the knees. Shorts cannot overlap with socks. Socks must not be higher than 2 inches above the knee. For shoes, they must be closed toe and closed heel. Shoes must be worn at all times. No slippers or slides are allowed. Soles or heels should not exceed 1.5 inches. Accessories, initial or large belt buckles are not allowed for safety reasons. Chains of any kind, spikes, or anything deemed unsafe will not be allowed as well. Gloves will not be permitted. So no piercings that could endanger one's safety will be allowed. Hairstyles, students should come well prepared with proper hairstyles. So with their hairstyles, they should be neatly styled. No extreme styles and colors will be allowed. Their eyes must be visible for safety reasons. Bandanas or do-rags will not be allowed. Improper symbols. So inappropriate symbols on clothing are not allowed, especially with cookies, grunts, marijuana leaves, or vapes, or anything promoting unsafe activities. For example, drugs, alcohol, or violence of any item that the police determines to be considered as gang attire will not be permitted as well. And this is for the safety of our students.
All right, the next slide goes over iPad replacement costs. And I know that there's a question on the chat. So if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. So for iPad replacement costs on here, we have the replacement costs broken down by item in case the iPad is broken along the way, and so that you have that information. iPad with no case is $431, and then all iPads come with a case as well.
Promotion requirements for all of our students, how we said, it's our goal to prepare them well academically. And our goal is to have all of our students well prepared, not just for high school, but when they go to their college or their university of choice. So when students by the time they are in 8th grade, for promotion, they must have at least a 2.0 or higher. Okay, other criteria to be considered: passing all classes with a 70% or higher, and this includes PE. So students must dress out for PE every day. It is a state requirement. Students may not have more than 10 unexcused absences and have at least 90% attendance throughout the school year. Students may not have any incidents of truancy. Students must have all the materials turned in, paid for, or otherwise accounted for: iPads, textbooks, library books, musical instruments, lab equipment, or any other charges cleared, including community service, in order for them to be eligible for promotion at the end of the school year when they are in 8th grade. Can you go to the next slide, Mrs. Rojas? We're still on promotion requirements. So behavior requirements that students must meet in order for them to be eligible for promotion. So a student has been suspended for a violation of educational code, may be deemed ineligible to participate in activities reserved for the promoting 8th graders, and may not receive a promotion certificate. So students may have no more than 2 incidents of suspensions. If they have 2 incidents of suspensions, they will be automatically disqualified for promotion. Students must be present and on time at all promotion rehearsals for their timed slot. And students who disrupt the promotion ceremony rehearsal may be excluded from participating in promotion and going to high school.
This next section will cover the cell phone policy of the school, and that includes also any electronic items. It could be cell phone, AirPods, any other electronic item. So students may not use cell phones at all on school grounds, even to call or text family members. Cell phones must be turned off during the school day and in backpacks, not in pockets, but in backpacks. Students may not bring wireless earbuds, AirPods, or any wireless headphones, lasers, Bluetooth speakers, or any other electronic or personal item to school. The school will not be responsible for or investigate the theft, loss, or damage of any cell phone brought on campus. And so it is for the students as well, in their best benefit as well, to put all items in backpack. In case of the above violations, we have 3 different violations, the first, the second, and the third. During the first violation, electronic items will be confiscated and returned to the student at the end of the school day. If it happens again and there's a second electronic violation, the electronic item will be confiscated and returned only to the family member at the end of the school day, which means that a family member will have to come to the school to pick up the electronic item. In the third electronic violation, the item will be confiscated and returned only to the family member at the end of the school day after a meeting with one of the assistant principals, either myself or Mr. Arredondo. And student will be placed on a behavior contract as well as a check-in and check-out of the cell phone.
The cell phone policy to reiterate, it is going to be enforced starting the first day of school. For the first violation, parents will not be contacted. Second violation, parents will be contacted. And third violation, it's up to the students to tell the parents. So attendance and being on time, attendance matters. And there has been a lot of studies that regular attendance is important for students to be able to succeed academically. The law requires regular attendance at school. Students who are purposely absent from school will be declared truant. Repeated truancies will result in appearance before the student attendance review team, which is called SART, and then be referred to the student attendance review board at the police station, and or possible loss of promotion privileges and or a citation. By state law, if a student is late 3 times to any class, this is equivalent to 1 unexcused absence. Habitual tardies will result in a referral to the student attendance review team, which is SART. Tardies, all students must be seated in their class and ready to learn before the bell rings. How we said we need the students here by 8:20, so they have enough time to get to their classes by 8:30 and before the tardy bell rings for every class. All students that are tardy to school in the morning must get a readmit slip from the attendance office before reporting to class. Students must present the readmit slip to their teacher, and this will be documented on their attendance record. When and how to verify absences. Family members must call the school attendance office before 10 a.m. on the same day of the absence. If not, it will be considered an unexcused absence. Students must report to the attendance office upon their return to school to get a readmit slip. Students with absences that have not been verified by family members will have 3 days to obtain a verification. It is the student's responsibility to make sure the absence is verified. Makeup work for attendance. Students who have a verified excuse for being absent will be given makeup work. Arrangements need to be made with each teacher, and it is the student's responsibility for the makeup work. Makeup work remains with the student. Students are reminded that they must ask the teachers for makeup work when they have an excused absence. So we are teaching our students not just to be able to communicate properly with their teachers, but to also be responsible for their academics and their success in school.
This next section covers the student identification cards. So every student during orientation should have gotten a temporary ID, and a lanyard, which students are required to wear on school grounds at all times. So every student is going to be required to wear the lanyard and the school ID on them anytime they are on campus. ID cards must be worn at all times, hanging from the neck, not in pockets or anywhere else or under shirts, but hanging from the neck and be visible. ID cards must be presented to any school staff member or adult when asked for identification. The front and the back of the ID card has to remain free of any stickers, markings, or other photos so that we can see the information that is on the ID card. Any lost, stolen, altered, damaged, or defaced ID cards must be replaced immediately. And we are going to have a process for that as well, for students to be able to replace them for a cost as well. ID cards, lanyards, and ID holders can be purchased in the library during lunch or after school. And in order to get their lunch, students must also present their ID card in the cafeteria in order to get their lunch. So it's very important that students from day one come in and have the ID cards. If a student did not come to orientation and did not get their schedule or their temporary ID card with their lanyard, we will have a station in the morning for them to come in and get that first thing on the first day of school.
Okay, for PE uniforms, all students are required to dress out for PE every day unless a doctor's note is provided. PE is a state requirement and it is also a promotion requirement. So PE uniforms and locks are available for purchase through the PE department. New PE uniforms are $30 for the set, which includes a shirt, shorts, and a lock. So $12 for the shirt, $12 for the shorts, and $6 for the lock. Clean PE clothes are required of all students every Monday. Students will be issued a locker. It is the student's responsibility to make sure all personal belongings are secured in their lockers.
This next section is about bullying. Bullying is a very serious issue, and here at Buena Park, all staff, community members, students, family, we must take it as a serious issue, and we must meet the challenge of creating a safe school where everyone feels safe and secure. Now, the definition of bullying is unwanted aggressive behavior among school-aged children that involves a real or perceived power imbalance. If your student is being bullied, please report to an adult, so a student can report to any adult that they trust on campus, or they can fill out a bullying report in the school office as well. All incidents of bullying must be reported to the school administration for thorough investigation. Now, if a student is the bully, right, we have bullying consequences as well. If with the first incident, an administrator will confront and label the behavior of the students involved as bullying and refer to the counselor for additional support. If it occurs again for the second incident, that will be a suspension, a family member conference, and bullying behavior contract. The third incident will be a suspension and referral to the school district child welfare and attendance officer for possible referral to an alternative program. And we do want to take a moment to thank you as well, from Mr. Park, Mr. Arredondo, and myself for joining us today for 30 minutes to go over this information with you.
And everything that we have gone over in this presentation, it's up in our new website. You're more than welcome to visit the website. It talks about promotion requirements, dress code, how our students are supposed to be dressed properly, and if in case they're not, they're going to be dress coded, and everything they're supposed to be following. It also talks about the student parent compact as well. And the bottom line is we just want our students to be safe, and we want them to succeed academically. And how I said, prepare them for high school and pretty much a college or a university. Mr. Park.
Yeah, I have a question here in the Q&A. I'll just answer it. I've been trying to answer them and type them in, but one of the questions is, as far as a dress code, what is acceptable to wear if it's cold, if they cannot wear hoodies? So that was the question.
They could buy a Buena Park Middle School beanie. We let students wear that last year.
Yeah, the hoodies are a safety issue. So sometimes students wear like way over their head and their own visibility, they can't see left and right. But if it gets that cold, they are more than welcome to purchase one of our Buena Park Middle School beanies. And if you need some assistance with that, we'd be more than happy to help you as well.
Do you want to talk about anything for the first day of school, Mr. Park, with the construction going on in the main, over here in the main parking lot?
Yeah, I mean, I'll send out the messages in Parent Square, but we do have ongoing construction in the front parking lot. So just, there won't be any parking there. So just please use the drive-through system. Pick up and drop off for 7th and 8th graders in the front. And then 6th graders on the Knott Avenue gate next to the Thanksgiving Church Education Building parking lot. But I will type all that out in a Parent Square message to go out on Sunday as well. Another question is, will ACES program start on 8/16 as well? Yes. If you're signed up and you got confirmation, ACES program will start the first day of school. Anything more specific, I would recommend you call ACES directly for any other specific questions. Another question about electives. How did electives, basically how were electives provided for students? Students that were here last year in 6th and 7th grade submitted their elective request at the end of last school year. They chose their top 6, and we tried to give them their top 3 as best as possible. Based on their schedule and classes, it wasn't always possible, but we did our best to give them their top choices. Students that did not submit any elective requests, we had a handful of students that were here last year. They never submitted the form. They just got whatever classes were open. As far as 6th grade students, all 6th grade students will be getting all of the electives in a rotation basis. So our 6th grade, they did not have a choice, but all 6th graders will be getting music, coding, AVID, which is organization skills, writing, things that'll prepare them for college, as well as a health and nutrition unit. So all 6th graders will get all the same electives, just at different times throughout the year. We just answered this question earlier, but will the parking lot be ready for drop off and pickup of students? The front parking lot will not be ready. The current estimate is mid-September. If you did want to park, we encourage you to use the Thanksgiving Church Education Building parking lot. But the easiest way, especially if your student is a returning student in 7th and 8th grade, just drop them off in the front. The front driveway will still be open to drop off kids and pick up kids. But that front parking lot area will still be fenced off for at least another month. Okay, we have another question about a child leaving his phone inside his backpack. If you do not want your child to leave his phone in his backpack, your child is more than welcome to check in his phone in the front office in the morning and pick it up after school. We recommend, unless your child really needs a phone to contact parents, we recommend students don't bring phones to school. That's our first recommendation, just because of the problems with cell phones. So if your child absolutely does not need his or her cell phone during the school day, we recommend it be left at home. Every student can use the office phone at any time to call parents if there's an emergency. But if you are sending your child to school with the cell phone, our policy is for them to have it turned off and in their backpack. The other option is to check it into the front office in the morning. It'll be safe and they can pick it up after school. If you have any other questions, we got maybe a few more minutes left. Please feel free to type it in the Q&A. This informational meeting for families is being recorded. We will upload it as soon as the meeting is over and the video gets processed for those of you that either joined us late or for those of you that are not able to join us during the live webinar. Okay, families, well, thank you so much for joining us in our informational webinar. If you have any questions, you can always call the school. You can message us through Parent Square. Keep checking your Parent Square messages for our weekly updates. And we will see you. School starts next Tuesday morning. It is an early release day at 1:30 p.m. School starts at 8:30, but we suggest you get your child here by 8 o'clock. We have free breakfast provided for all students. Breakfast and lunch is at no cost to every student this entire school year. So save yourself some time. Drop off your child at 8 a.m., then go straight to the cafeteria, get a nice breakfast. You don't have to prepare all that. And you know they'll be in class on time. One last question, will the bus be running on Tuesday? Yes, buses will be running from the first day of school. If you need a bus application, it is online. All of it is online at our district website, bpsd.us. There's an online bus application. All right, thank you. Thank you again, family, so much for joining us. We'll see you next. We're looking forward to seeing you next Tuesday, first day of school, August 16th. Check your Parent Square messages. I send one out every Sunday with the information for the upcoming week. There's one more question. We do have a brief orientation makeup on Monday. For those of you that weren't able to come to orientation, we do have a makeup on Monday, the 15th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. If you have a new student and would like a tour, we'd be more than happy to give you a brief tour of the school. Some of it is still blocked off in the back with construction, but that's something, please come to the office and we can help you with that. Okay, thank you very much, families. We're going to sign off. Enjoy your evening, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Thank you, parents. We look forward to a very successful year.
Thank you. Have a good evening.